New York judge temporarily blocks state handgun ban in churches. They're just more rights that the leftist is trying to take away from you. They don't want you to be able to protect yourself from criminals. They want you to have to rely on the state. But before I get started, first off, I want to say thank you all for your support. I had a strike for talking about. They tried to say medical misinformation. I was actually talking about the Bilderberg Group and Bill Gates and how evil and corrupt they were. I might have mentioned the jab, but I didn't mention it in any type of medical way. I don't know how they gave me a strike for that. They were reaching, but I think the closer as we get into the election, they're trying to silence voices like myself. But that's the bat. They just put a battery pack in me that make me want to go even harder. So I'm gonna be putting out even more news. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. When you hit that alarm bell, click all. Click the all stuff instead of the personalized, because if you click all, you'll catch whenever every time I put out news, you'll be alerted. So check that out. And also check out my link in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my Instagram where I put out news. All right, so let's talk about this news. New York's quest to emulate itself in much the same way as California hit a minor snag last week. Governor Kathy Hochul and state Democrats have been trying to find ways to implement draconian gun laws, even though New York City itself is in the throes of historic crime waves that show no signs of abating. One of the moves by Hochul and company, I think I'm pronouncing her name right, I don't know, but her and company has been essentially has to essentially expand gun-free zones, referring to them as, quote, sensitive places where a firearm cannot be carried. Houses of worship were designated as sensitive places, making congregants and clergy alike sitting ducks and making those places soft targets for bad actors. It's nonsensical. It makes no sense at all why you want to stop people from protecting themselves. As it was noted last month, the New York State Jewish Gun Club filed a lawsuit over the provision, not only on the grounds of the worshipers would be at risk in those situations, but that their First Amendment rights would be curtailed. People might not attend services for fear of being wounded or killed by a gunman. On October 4th, 25 churches from around the Empire State and New York and the New Yorkers for Constitutional Freedoms also filed a lawsuit challenging that section of the Concealed Carry Improvement Act. American Military News reports that the defendants in the case include the head of the state police, Kevin Druin, and the district attorneys from the counties of each church. Arguments in the case are slated to start November 3rd. According to Syracuse.com, on Thursday, U.S. District Judge John Sentara Jr. blocked enforcement of the law with a temporary restraining order. Sinatra ruled that the state could not show that the restriction fit with the June ruling by the Supreme Court, and that allowing churches attendees to carry a gun will foster self-defense at places of worship, which is in the public interest. Sinatra wrote that as the law currently stands, it, quote, creates a vulnerable population of attendees at places of worship left to the whims of potential armed wrongdoers who are uninterested in following the law in any event. And I agree. You can apply that to personal protection as well, not just when you're in churches. This only helps out criminals because they know that you're not armed. The state position has been to cite similar laws in Virginia, Missouri, Texas, and Georgia that date all the way back to the late 19th century. For a quick reference, that period of time spans from 1800 to 1899, and obviously the nation was a very different place then. Sinatra called those presidents outliers that did not represent a tradition of accepted prohibitions. Even if the temporary block on the restriction becomes permanent, New York Democrats and Democrats in general will be back. maybe they can't keep concealed weapons out of the houses of worship, but they can find ways to keep guns out of the hands of citizens. If you solve that problem, then the ban on guns in churches practically solves itself. Keep in mind, the ruling class has no problem with guns per se. It views guns the same way it views money and power. As long as it has all the money, power, and guns, things are fine. Those things are only problematic when they are in the hands of citizenry that needs to be controlled, and that's what I keep talking about all the time. It's about power, is about control, is about what they have over you. They don't want you to be able to be independent. They don't want you to be sovereign. They don't want you to be able to defend and fend for yourself. They want you to be able to rely on them. They want all the power and control. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out themarkrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.